I see a lot of students always play with a bad habit. So here's one of the things that you must avoid. So you're not sure which note to play, which note comes next. You're sort of guessing the notes, moving your hand back and forth. It's one of the things that you must avoid because your muscle will get used to that treble. Your muscle will get used to playing the wrong notes, and that's how you're most likely to perform when you're on stage. So just be very careful with your finger and with your hand. You do your best not to hit the wrong notes, right? Because then your muscle will get used to that treble. You remember the distance of that treble, so you're gonna always have the same mistake. So make sure you know exactly which note comes next and which note you're supposed to play without moving your hand back and forth. So especially when you play the music where you have a lot of leaps and jumps between the notes, you have to be very careful when you practice, and it's most likely will be muscle practice. So you have to spend a lot of time doing muscle practice, but in a correct way. You do your best not to hit the wrong notes, otherwise your muscle will get used to the wrong distance of treble. So you have to remember exactly which note to play, all right? And so you let your muscle remember the exact distance of treble. You see what I'm talking about? So you do slowly first, so that you know the exact distance of treble. Alright, and then you let your muscle to get used to that exact distance of treble. Alright, and then you have to be able to do it fast without looking, because your muscle will know exact distance of treble. Eventually you have to be able to do it without even looking at the keys, alright? So imagine there is a keyboard in your head, and then you just have to be able to do it without looking. Yeah, because you wouldn't have time to look down anyway. So you have to just able to treble. So we have talked about two things that you must avoid when you're aiming to learn pieces fast in the correct way. The first thing is that you never ever guess the notes. You make sure you know exactly which note comes next and which note to play by letting your muscle get used to the exact distance of treble, especially for the pieces where you have a big jumps, big leaps between the notes. The second thing is that you must memorize the piece after you learn all the musical details of the pieces. Otherwise, you end up wasting your time fixing up all your mistakes and bad habits.